Like, yeah, I hooked up with 2 guys and I was the only girl, and she was like, they just really don't want to be close to each other because they don't want to be, you know, quote unquote too gay with each other, which I'm like, what? Like,
Girl and her pink water bottle against the world. You're listening to Girlhood.
it's your host Hallismmith for another episode of Girlcore. Let's get right into it. Guys, this week I just saw Challengers. Okay, I'm not going to spoil anything, don't worry, but it's about, you know, the tennis movie with Zendaya and the 2 guys. Now, here's the thing. I thought it was going to be a little more gay. I know, like, yes, it was very gay, but at the same time, it wasn't as gay as I thought they could be gayer. Because, you know, in the beginning intro, they really, you know, show a lot of boy-on-boy action. And then I get into the film, and it was more about, like, Zendaya and these boys, which obviously is like the main plot, but I don't know, I just thought they'd be gayer in some way, if that makes sense. But what my main caniche and problem though with the movie is the amount of sweat. This isn't gonna spoil anything. I'm just confused at the amount of sweat. These men were dripping sweat, and as an ex-tennis player myself, I do have to say it was just a lot of sweat. Like, even if you're doing the bam chicka bam bam or playing the hardest game of your life, these men were profusely raining down sweat. Me and my friends were like, okay, at one point it's a little too much sweat, even during an intense tennis match. You know what I mean? Like, not to be like a tennis police or anything, but I'm just saying, what I will say though is they freaking nailed the casting. Let me tell you this, I've played tennis for years, and the men they casted as the tennis boys is perfect, because tennis boys are scrawny guys, like those type of men. Like, when they're young, they are not hot. They are usually not the cutest when they're young, okay, babe? Now, do tennis men have glow-ups? Yes, they do have glow-ups, because they go through that phase where they look just like a young boy and then they become a man. They still have like usually like that boyish kind of, I don't know, like physique and energy. Like, tennis guys aren't like, I don't know, maybe hockey or football players and have like that side of them, you know? They're always kind of lanky and limber because, you know, they gotta be jumping around a court. Not that you have to be that exact like body type, but that's usually what they are. So seeing these men, I was like, good job, because I would hate if they like casted like, I don't know, super hot male model-esque men. Not to say these boys weren't good looking and male model-esque, but they weren't like that perfection level that they could have gone, but that would have been completely wrong. So, you know, kudos to that. I wish this movie came out when I was in high school, still in like my baller tennis days, because this could have really brought up my street rep, you know, as being a tennis girl. Because let me tell you this, I did love tennis, but I also love the tennis outfits. And of course, over the last like 3 years or so, tennis, or like since like COVID pretty much, tennis outfits have been getting popular again. Tennis skirts, tennis wear, and also with the new, what's it, pickleball obsession, that tennis style is also just coming right back into swing. But I'm like, frick me, because I used to have so many cute tennis skirts and girly tennis outfits, and I've gotten rid of all of them. Like, I donated all of them. I just like grew out of a lot of them too. I do have to admit, like, those outfits I was wearing when I was in high school, and I'm now not in high school, graduated from college, so, you know, that probably wouldn't look the best on me. And I did love like neon colors back when I was like a tennis player. Like, I would have like a neon hot pink skirt and a neon turquoise like blue Nike like sweat top. Like, I loved the bright colors as a tennis player. I was not wearing like these like chic, you know, black and white sets from Aloe. No. Your girl was like a Nike neon highlighter in high school. Like, I loved it, especially the color pink on myself. If there was a pink tennis outfit, I wanted it. Pink visor, I had it. Like, I needed to have just everything super bright and colorful. And honestly, it's a slay on the tennis court, because you usually are kind of playing like far back, and maybe some people don't have like the best view of you. So if you're on a, you know, one of the other courts that are far away, you know, all your teammates, your parents, your friends, they know exactly who to look out for. But no, the movie was super sexual, and this is the thing I did have to say I love too, because when they were talking about how guys, this is not a spoiler, don't worry, but they were talking about how like in the movie, like the guys kind of taught, one of them taught the other how to jerk off, okay? This is the most common thing I've ever heard amongst men in my life. I have talked to so many guys who've like confessed to me that one of their friends showed them how to jerk off, and then they would jerk off together. It would happen usually just one time, and then they'd be like, that was really weird, we're never doing that again. And now they both know how to jerk off. But that is so common. Like, in the movie, I feel like all my friends were laughing afterwards, because they were like, oh my gosh, like, what? Like, guys showing each other how to jerk off? But I'm like, wait, you guys haven't heard this? Like, guys do show each other how to jerk off. Like, I've had 3 confessions from 3 separate guys talking about how like their friend taught them, and like then they would watch porn together, lay in bed, or lay on like one on the floor and one in the bed, and then they would jerk off to the same porn, watching it together. and then, you know, continue on. Now in the movie, it's even wilder because they talk about how like they were just talking about a girl. Like one of them was just talking about how they thought this one girl in school was hot. That's pretty wild. That's like really weird. But like even weirder, in real life, guys do this all the time. I don't know about you, but I have never done that with my girlfriends. I don't know. It's like women, we are way different about masturbation and talking about it than guys are. Like guys are really open with it, I feel like, and they honestly start like joking about it with each other at a very young age. Like usually around like 6th grade, 7th grade, guys are all like talking about, you know, masturbation jokes, and you know, in class they like clip their hands together and they make like that sound super fast on like their legs where it kind of sounds like, I don't know, them jerking off. Like there are so many jokes, but girls, we are not doing that. We are not talking about it. We act like we don't do it. It actually wasn't until one time I was just, you know, walking and talking to one of my friends, and we were like in high school. We were like freshmen in high school. So we're about like 14 or 15 here. And one of my friends, she's like, yeah, you know, before sleep, just gotta, you know, rub it out a little bit. And I was like, hold up, what? Like, I was literally like in shell shock because I was like, hold up, like you do that too? But I didn't even say anything because I didn't want to be weird. And I was like, wait, I gotta like play this cool. Like this is what we talk about. Like I want this to be normal, so I'm not gonna make her feel weird by talking about this so lightly. And she didn't say anything else besides that. Like my friend literally just said that and then carried on. But I was like, holy shit, like she masturbates, like this is normal. Because back in the day, like obviously when you're young like that, like you feel guilty. You're like, should I be doing this? Is this right? Like, is anybody else doing this? Am I just like a freaking hypersexual weirdo? No. It's very normal. But luckily, you know, I never decided like, hey, I'm gonna masturbate side by side by my friend. Like, I feel like girls, we all just like independently figured it out. Maybe a few of us talked to each other about it, but usually it wasn't something we were like passing around in converse, like of conversation ever. It's just not like that. But the fact that guys are doing it is kind of funny, like low key, because guys are always just more ahead of girls, I feel like, in getting raunchy. At least that was just my experience in school and things like that. Like guys were always the one, you know, spreading the things about like who's gonna kiss who and jerking off and making all the sexual jokes, and girls are a little bit behind that because we don't usually are allowed to be, I guess, as sexual in society. Like it's not considered funny. It's more like, oh, whoa, like don't be talking like that. So it's just a difference. But I was like, okay, the movie was pretty freaking accurate. I'm not gonna spoil anything. I think they did a really good job, honestly, like representing tennis and even like representing tennis culture and like the boys in it. Like they did a really good job because like there's a lot of douchebags in tennis. Like let me tell you that, like a lot of assholes, like conceited assholes. And once again, not ruining a plot, just one of them is very cocky, and that is a very tennis-esque boy energy. Like just like kind of cocky, even though maybe he's not all that, but maybe he's a good tennis player, so he thinks he's all that. And like he's just kind of like annoying. Like tennis boys are very annoying. I don't know, I've like never dated or really like dealt with like a guy, like a tennis guy in that way. I have just played my whole life tennis, and all the time you practice with guys, you know, lots of like same-sex practices and what do we call them? There's like these little clinics, lots of clinics where you pretty much it's like a one-on-one with a tennis instructor, and then like you play girls, guys. Sometimes it's mixed, sometimes it's like, you know, gender separated, whatever. But you do these clinics and then you play with a lot of guys. So even if I never dated one, I'm just around a lot of tennis guys. But I haven't been around as many since like I finished tennis in high school. Like in college, it's kind of funny because anytime on campus I would see somebody with a tennis racket, I would like just want to run up to them and be like, oh my god, do you play tennis? But I'm like, okay, don't be weird, Hallie, don't be weird. But it's just like that hyperfixation that I love. And honestly, watching the TV and like watching the tennis during challengers makes me have like an itch now to play some tennis. Which, why is this a tennis podcast? I don't know. We're serving tennis now, okay? Love everything. I'm loving this, get it? Loving this, like love in tennis. I thought that was good. But yes, it is a way different thing like when you watch the movie, because everybody has, like I said, I feel like such strong opinions. Like everybody loves it, but we all kind of agree like, damn, gosh damn, like that was dramatic. Like it was so intense. But I would definitely go give it a watch. It is really fun and it's kind of sexual. I mean, like very sexual. It is the most smut movie I have watched in a really long time. Shit, this shit puts 60 shades of Grey, 50 Shades of Grey to shame. This was a loaded it was pornography. It was literally straight pornography, but I love it. And you know what? I love the power dynamic of woman with two men. You know, we're always getting so many movies talking about, you know, guys, two girls, you know, that obsession of a guy getting with two girls, but how about a girl getting with two guys? Because that's not talked about enough. And I've seen so many TikToks joking about like, it's gonna be a challenger summer. That is hot. That is hot. I have actually, and I'll say it, I have never had a two guys, one girl action moment. Obviously, it's kind of hard to get that, you know, men are jealous, and like, when am I gonna bring two guys into like a situation like that where they're both not gonna like want to hate each other? This is a very specific situation. Now, that don't mean I don't know some tea though on some girls that I know that have told me some stories about being with, you know, two guys, one girl. I think for the most part, it's just really fun because guys sometimes are very weird with each other. And one of my friends, she's like, you're already two guys fucking one girl, like embrace the other guy. Because she was like, they were being super duper awkward. Like they would not get anywhere close to each other, like kissing wise. They would not, you know, if one was inside her, the other one was way far away, like, you know, up near her mouth, you know what I mean? Like that's insane. But she said like they kept their distance because in the Challengers movie, like you can see it in all the advertisements, like the men are on top of each other too, like they're really feeling each other. But she was like, in real life, the guys that she was with were just staying far away. And I actually heard that from another friend too. She's like, yeah, I did that once too, two guys, one girl, and they just kept their distance from each other. Like they were all about me, but they did not want to be anywhere close to each other, which is interesting because now we spin it, two girls, one guy. I feel like anytime like I have heard stories about two girls, one guy, the girls are all up on each other. And obviously I would be too. I haven't been in that situation myself either, but I totally would be all up on the girl and the guy because like the girl on girl is hot. Like girls love girls, obviously. I mean, yes, bye, but like I feel like most girls would be okay with kissing another girl. Even if like, you know, maybe they're going on down on a guy, most girls would be, you know, pretty close, you know, helping each other. But I can see how like guys are just more weird with it because I actually had some friends over this weekend and I hang out with my like main friend, and then I had like a meetup with like an old high school friend that I haven't seen in freaking forever. Like I saw them once, we hung out a few times like outside after high school, but that was like still pretty fresh out of high school. So like main point though is is that we were talking about how guys and their intimacy is so weird with other guys. Like one of my guy friends, he was saying like guys with each other just like don't know how to be emotionally intimate because they so don't want to come off as gay with each other. So anytime they reach that point of like guys expressing themselves to their guy friends, like whether it be like a hard breakup or just like, you know, emotional problems or problems with their family, like right when they start getting too touchy, guys are like, okay, but like, you know, wrap it up, like that's enough, like yeah, like you feel that way, but that sucks, like I just can't talk about it more than that, because they get like weirded out. They're like, whoa, 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 this is way too intimate and emotional, like this is kind of gay. And my friend was like, yeah, it freaking sucks, because that's why guys like never help each other, and that's why they always rely on women so much, because like they just think it's so like too fruity to open up. And I'm like, that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. But honestly, so true. Like women are always getting used for free therapy by guys all the freaking time, so no wonder this is happening so often. But it's also funny because I have a few, you know, gay friends, and they talk about just like the dating scene and everything like that, and they're like, yeah, the hardest part sometimes about being a gay man is when you make friendships with other men and other males, they don't know how to distinguish the relationship from like a male to a female. So because they're not used to a man being so, you know, emotionally available and more feminine, like lots of gay guys have the other side to them, these straight men kind of use them. They kind of use them for therapy. They kind of are flirtatious because they know like they only know how to act like this because that's how they act with women. Like straight men usually only open up when they're being flirty with girls, so they get very flirty with the gay guys, and then the gay guys are like, dude, what the fuck, like you kind of just use me for your emotional downpour, you super flirty, like over the top, even though like you're very straight, so you kind of lead me on even though they know you don't want it. So it's just like a really weird balance, and I'm like, damn, like the gay community's already got it hard enough. Like poor gay men, they have to get butt fucked on the first time they hook up with a guy. That's insane. That's literally insane. I don't know how they do it, because if I had to fuck a guy anal on the first freaking meetup, I would be shocked. I would not know what to do. It would require a lot of lube and I don't know, maybe some weed or something, because I would not know how to relax. Like I am with I'm a married woman, and like it takes me so much time to like, you know, relax and have him warm me up and be super close and intimate and really have a lot of emotional communication while we do that. So to do that with a random hookup, and now these poor gay men, besides having to take it up up the ass. They now have to deal with straight men, you know, like queer baiting them and using them as therapy. Like, the fuck is this? And like me and my guy friends were just having this conversation, kind of like, yeah, like it's totally sucks because there's no balance. Like for straight guys, they can't rely on each other, but then when they try to rely on the, you know, gay guys, they do it too much, and then, you know, it's just a mix. And it's just like, shit, like if guys could just learn how to talk about their emotions, life would be so much easier. If they could just talk about it with each other and rely on each other. I mean, even in the freaking movies Challengers, like you just see like guys turn on each other. Like they don't have each other as support. Like they're friends, but they're also so competitive with each other. And opening up is kind of a sign of weakness, I believe, for them. Like it's so weird because in women hierarchy, like you usually see like girl groups really support girls, you know? Like I really want my friends to prosper, but in male relationships, like they want to be a little bit better than their friend. Like yes, you can be good looking, but you can't be as good looking as me. You can make a lot of money, but not as much as me. Like they kind of want to see each other do good, but not better than themselves. And it's so competitive. Like I don't know if it's just like the way men peacock, you know, like they're always competing for competing for girls, and they kind of just feel like they need to be like the better one because like the male patriarchy kind of tells them if you're not like first or last, you know, like some Ricky Bobby shit. But like it creates such a competitive energy that I think that also dives into why they don't have deeper emotional connections, because they kind of look at each other as the enemy. You know what I mean? Right? Are we getting somewhere? Are you connecting with me? Like guys, with the competitiveness with each other and the lack of emotional opening up, these two kind of go hand in hand.